All right, guys, welcome to another episode with Peter Mollo. If you don't know who he is the man. He's the king of Rhode Island fitness. That's what I would say. Anytime I think about fitness in Rhode Island, I think about Peter. So thank you so much for coming down, man.
Thank you for having me.
2-hour drive, he came down, and we're excited to have him, tell him a story, and hear about kind of how he came to who he is today and how he became this, training Olivia Colpos and all these other amazing people. So Peter, tell us a little bit about your background and tell us a little bit about kind of where you come from.
So I come from North Providence, Rhode Island. I've been in the training industry for probably about 20 years now. I'm 43 years old. I started off in schools. I was a phys ed teacher, phys ed and health teacher. Started when I was about 23 years old. And I had a pretty crazy story, family-wise.
Small town, big town? What was like the demographic?
Small town. I mean, everyone knows each other. It's just outside of Providence.
Yeah.
Everyone pretty much knows each other. But pretty much, like I said, I wasn't really given too much in life.
Sure.
I had to work for pretty much everything. So my journey in fitness took a long time, really long time, longer than most, I should say.
Got it. And did you have siblings growing up? And
I had one brother. He passed away in 2011.
oh my God.
So that was kind of like how part of the reason my journey kind of was delayed within fitness. But I also feel that is why I became successful with the brand.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about tell us about your childhood, how you came into fitness, because a lot of people, the story into when they get into what they're doing, it changes a bunch, right? So tell us a little bit about what your backstory is.
So pretty much I went to high school. I was at LaSalle Academy. I played basketball there. I was always into sports.
Nice.
Growing up, middle class family. My dad, huge into sports. So me and my brother, that's pretty much what we did, growing up all through high school. After that, I really didn't know what I wanted to do.
Sure.
And I went into, a lot of trainers. I joke around sometimes with failed athletes in a way.
That's absolutely.
It's like working out and stuff like that. But I knew I did like to help people, and that's how I went into the phys ed aspect of school. Once I graduated, I was 23. I had literally no money, and I started working all kinds of jobs. So bartending, I was in the nightclub scene for a little bit. I had worked at a casino. At that time, we had brought up my brother. He was going through a pretty bad drug problem. And it got to the point where, he was living at my parents' house. I was still staying there because I went to Rhode Island College, so I didn't live 10 minutes away.
Right.
And it was a pretty toxic situation, and I had to get out of it. So I worked as many possible jobs as I could to get enough money to get out. But also in that time, things got a little bit crazy. Some questionable decisions, and it just kind of delayed my journey in that regard. Fast forward, he passes away. You get through that whole scenario, and I was like, you know what, it was kind of like a point of like self-reflection and saying, I got to do what I have to do to make myself happy.
Yeah.
And from there, I had been training for a long time, so I had the clientele. It was just I had to take the leap of faith to actually start the business. I knew I could be successful with it. I just had to do it, had to get the money to do it, and that's what I did, and I never looked back.
What kind of fitness were you doing?
I pretty much started off with small groups. That's where I had started off, a lot of personal training, and which actually helped me in my journey because I was literally able to train anybody, from kids to middle-aged people. But it was just about developing those relationships, the clientele, and referrals. And it just kind of went from there.
And then why did you choose training, right? Because you went through this hustle period where you graduated, and like most college kids, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? You just went to school, you just learned all this shit, you don't know how to use it.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to hustle to make money. But then there's some point in your 20s where you're like, okay, this is my lane. What was that moment for you?
Well, I felt that I had enjoyed teaching. I was in the inner city. I enjoyed working with the kids. I did the whole coaching thing. I had trained the kids in school. I was tired of the politics within the school department. but I did like to help people.
Yeah.
Anytime I did work with my clients, they're coming to me and they're paying me. They want to be there.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the push that I needed. I also was working, I was training before school, training after school, bartending, doing everything. I said, you know what? If I can work 12-hour days, because it's essentially what it was, 12, 13-hour days for somebody else, I can do it for myself.
Right. And then when did you make that leap of faith where you're like, you know what, the school's not for me and I'm going to do this whole thing on my own?
I was 33 when I did that. Yeah.
So how long were you doing the phys ed, like the phys ed stuff, training?
12 and a half years.
Wow. So it's 12 and a half years. And then you said, you know, fuck it, I'm going to do this on my own. Whoa.
Yeah. And it wasn't, looking back, I'm like, I don't know how the hell I did it.
Right. That's a lot.
I don't know how I did it. But then I also looked at all those small steps that it took over that time period is why we're here now. You know, I think today, I don't know if you guys see it, everyone wants like almost instant gratification.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And they end up just quitting on themselves because if they don't get it right now, you know, some people's success stories, you know, could happen in 5 months, some in 5 years, some in 15 years. And I think that, you know, what gets lost is you know, it's the hard work that you put in. And for some people, it just takes a little bit longer.
100%.
You know?
It should take longer too. Like normally, listen to anybody that's built something actually worth building. It takes like 10 years, even like at least 10 years.
Yeah.
And you have appreciation to what you built.
Yeah.
When people build it, like, oh, I built a 8-figure company in fucking 6 months. It's like you didn't even appreciate the grind to get there.
Right.
You're just used to that part.
Right.
But in our scenarios, and most people's scenarios, it takes years. So when, on that climb, you're appreciating the climb up, but then when you get to the top or you get to where you want to go, you have some sort of sense of gratefulness or gratitude of like, you know, what it took to get here. Some of these young kids, they just fucking boom and they pop and they don't see the people who actually bust their fucking ass to get there.
They don't understand the climb.
Exactly.
And
Some just happens like that.
And I see that a lot too with like, I saw how long it actually took for me to gain my clientele.
Right.
You know, some new trainers that I have coming in, and I love them, but they never had to worry about that part.
Right.
It's like, how many hours do you want to work? 30? Here.
Yeah, here's a plate.
And sometimes that's where like, you know, and I do have to work on this myself as a, you know, as an employer, it's just like, I struggle with that because if I find that if I look at them that they're not grateful or they have an ego or that they think they know everything at that point and they don't need to learn anything anymore.
It's tough, dude.
Can't relate to it.
Yeah, it's tough. So tell me about, so you 12 and a half years working in this environment and then you switch. So tell me exactly what happened from there because you opened up a business. Like tell us what that process kind of looked like for you.
So I had, when you work in the public school department, you can take a year leave of absence and you're in the union over there. So I was like, let me see if this is going to work. I obviously had to get a co-sign by my wife to see, you know, and she's like, just go and do it. She's like, I know you're going to do it. Just go do it.
Which to that point, having a partner that's supportive is fucking huge. Like you could have a wife that convinces you not to.
Yeah.
Right? Stay safe. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. And people's entire dreams can be killed because their partners are not supportive or to give you that leap of faith or to make the sacrifice that they need to make so you as the man can go do that.
Yeah.
So talk about that. That's huge.
Well, my business wouldn't even run without her.
Amazing.
I
Love
wouldn't.
that.
Wow.
I wouldn't. Like, you know, I might be the face of it in some ways, and I'll do the bull work, but behind the scenes work is all her.
And how'd you meet her or when?
Oh, that was, we met actually when I was working in one of the nightclubs. We worked together.
Amazing.
Yep.
So young, you were like in your early 20s.
I was 27, she was 22. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
All right. So now, you're at this point, you're married when you make this leap of faith.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you got the cosign. Now what's next?
So I took a year leave of absence from the school department. So basically what that means is you won't lose your seniorities, but you won't lose your job. You'll lose that year of seniority. So I'm like, screw it. Who cares? We'll figure it out. So that's what I did. I opened up May 7th of 2018. So I was still having to go to work at that point. I was teaching. I had one trainer with me. And I would go to school. I would train in the morning. I had the one trainer there. I had a light class schedule. In, I want to say, 3 months, it absolutely blew up.
So how'd you find the space? Did you need to get like a loan, or what did that process look like? Did you just find the space immediately? Did you?
I was looking numerous different places. It fit. It was close to my house. It was right off two highways. I said, I know I can make this work. I lucked out because it actually would have limited me. Because what's unique is I personal trained, but I had, having that background with all the group classes, I was really good group class instructor. Mm-hmm. And nobody was really doing some of the stuff that I was doing. So in 3 months, it was the group classes that blew up. And I was running on I think that was a 2,400 square foot unit, 1,000 square feet for classes. It was like a little turf area.
Yeah, it's kind of small, isn't it?
Really small.
Yeah, it's tiny.
So, because of when I opened up, how I lucked out was, and I didn't have a lot of like personal training equipment at the time. I had people going down the personal training floor. We had a 14-foot garage door. They were going outside. Mm-hmm. So I was able to get it done. There was a unit next door. It was another 3,000 square feet. I took that. That was so about 6 months in, it was ready for the winter time, which was great. So we were good then. Then COVID hits.
Oh, so this is like 2019, 2020.
Yeah, 2018 was when we opened. So then I had taken that next unit. Then COVID hits. Boom, they shut everything down.
Fuck.
So what we did, we kind of pivoted though. It worked out. We offer like unlimited contracts for group class members. So if they're not into going to the gym, and that's your gym, and they'll come every day. What we did, it sucked, but we ran with my staff. It was like 5 of us at the time. 3 group classes, live classes a day. We started a Facebook private group.
Yeah.
We ran that. We kicked the shit out of us because we did it for a couple of years. But the only way to keep your membership, and nothing else was open, was the only way to be in that private group was to keep your membership. So I was still able to keep a bunch of my memberships to keep going.
Wow.
And then what we did was I found a kid that was out of work. He had worked at, it was one of my clients' employees. They had the Strand downtown. It was pretty much a nightclub. This kid was out of work because they were closed. He developed me an online platform that was called PMF On Demand. And pretty much I opened it up to everybody. I actually did one with Olivia, like a live workout.
Oh, that's sick.
And it blew up, but it carried me through.
Wow.
Now we knew that we were going to have capacity issues. There was a third unit that connected.
So you're just knocking down,
just banging walls down.
Yeah.
There was a third unit that connected it, and it was a private ambulance company, and they moved out. And I said to Jenna, I said, we got to knock that wall down, and we got to have that ready to go for when things open up, because they're going to say it can only be certain 7 feet apart for whatever it was. So that's what we did. We knocked it down. Boom, once we gave it clearance to open up, it was like having a grand opening again. It was come see the space.
Right.
But the funny part about it was I probably lost 30% of my clientele just because they were out of routine.
100%. Yeah. I remember when you think about COVID world, it's like a different fucking dimension, like Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Like how the fuck did we even operate?
Ridiculous.
Insanity.
No, I know.
Ridiculous.
Gyms especially. That's a tough sell to be doing group classes online. Like, did you have a specific niche that you were attacking at that point, or was it just kind of, open for everybody?
We were just running our straight classes. If you had a set of dumbbells, we kind of changed the formats because pretty much people, all they had was a set of dumbbells if they could get them.
Right.
So some stuff was body weight, but it was mostly interval workouts that you could do with a set of dumbbells in your room.
That's awesome.
The thing that's important with gyms, and when I see, is location is obviously majorly important.
Yeah.
But obviously equipment, majorly important. Mm-hmm. Did you think you had both of those when you first opened? Like, okay, I had the best location for me, and I have all the equipment that my clientele is looking for.
Location, yes. Equipment, no.
Because equipment's expensive. Anytime I think about opening up a gym, I'm like, look at all this fucking equipment in here.
Crazy.
I read it's insane, and it never came down. That was the other thing.
Right, it just went up.
They just skyrocketed, price per
Absolutely.
pound of weights, and it never came back down.
Yeah.
Never going to come back down.
No, that's it. Once everything goes up, it's...
Because people were ordering the stuff to their house, right? Was that part why?
Yeah.
Like home gyms?
Home gyms.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. No, but I didn't, to answer your question, I didn't have the equipment, and I had to build that over time. Now in my gym, I don't owe $1 on anything.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Because something also that's unique about your story is when you opened, you were immediately busy right out the gate, and you were like, "Holy shit, I got something." There's a lot of businesses that when they start, they're like, "Fuck, I gotta really like grind from zero and really pull these people in." What was the difference with yours?
I think that's a really good question. I think that stemmed from how long I did it
That 12 and a half years.
on a part-time basis.
Yeah.
And I had developed so many positive relationships and referrals. And I think that gets lost with training today is everything is done online. And I get it. You have to have social media that drives your business. But a lot of times in training, it's referral. If I have a good experience with you and you're finding value,
You tell somebody else, you know, period.
Best form of marketing, hands down.
and I think that gets lost.
But the key is you got to give good product. You have to give good service and experience. Because if you train someone, they don't get results,
Yep.
it goes the other way.
Yep.
So what were you doing that drove that many referrals, that many people like, hey, we got to go to Peter's classes? Like, this fucks. Because even sometimes I see a lot of your group, there's a lot of females in it, right?
Yep.
So it's like you have to feel comfortable. The females are kind of, particular. They have to feel comfortable in their workouts. They have to feel comfortable with the people there.
Yep.
Do you think that you created like a culture there that you like that almost embodied comfortableness and empowerment and all that stuff?
I created a community, and
Right.
and I think that when I early on I had trained like a lot of fitness competitors, which I really don't anymore.
Sure.
And that's by design. To be
Very
honest with
niche to do that work.
you. Yeah, it's by design. And honestly, we made fitness fun, and I don't find that fun. No knock to anybody that does them. It's a lot of hard work.
Very serious.
It's a sacrifice.
Grueling.
We've just tried to make fitness fun and give people a quality workout. We did start off with a lot of females. I started adding a lot more strength classes. We got a lot more guys that are coming in now. So it's a pretty mixed group at this point. I think the one thing that we've done really, really well, and I have to give our trainers this because they bought into it as well, you got to leave your ego at the door, and you got to make it about your client. It's about them. It's not about us. And their goal is your goal. Whether you might have your own personal different philosophy on how you want to train yourself, you got to do what's best for them and what they want. And I think that's what we've done pretty well.
Yeah, that's huge. That's like any product and company.
Yeah.
It has to be about the people that are buying your product. That's your avatar. If you don't have them, you have nothing.
But in fitness, and I'm sure you guys see it, a lot of times in this industry, it's just an ego-driven business.
Oh, big time.
1,000%.
And and I think if you can keep that in check, you can do very well.
But how do you do that? How do you keep that in check? Because there's so many different personalities with trainers. Like, how do you make your spot? If you're working with Peter, you have these are like my non-negotiables working with me. How do you kind of create that? Because creating community is not easy.
You just got to work hard. I think people see how hard I work too. I'm there
Lead
every
from
day.
the front, yeah.
I'm there every day, all day, every day. And I want to be there. I love what I do. But they also see how much I want to see them succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I buy in. What their goal is, it becomes my goal. As if I inspire them in any way, they do that for me.
Yeah.
So I think we've done a good job with that.
And then what about nutrition, right? Because that's obviously a huge part of working out, right? And getting in shape. If you don't have your nutrition, you can't outwork a bad diet. I mean,
Shout out Nutre.
Angel's been saying it. I've proven it for 35 years. You can't work out a bad diet. But it's true. You really cannot outwork a bad diet. So what do you guys do on that front?
Well, I have a nutritionist we work with out of Tampa.
Sure.
So Mike handles all that. He loves to do it. I believe in, you can't wear all the hats, in the place. I find nutrition to be the hardest for everybody, for all of us. So my recommendation, because a lot of times too, people that are coming to us is they don't know what to do.
Of course.
So throwing nutrition at them, which to me is the hardest part, exercise, you got to start with baby steps, get them moving first. They're all going to have results at the beginning, but if they want to get to whatever that next level is for them, they do have to lock in their nutrition.
Yeah. It's almost like it's like going to an ice cream shop. You see like 1,000 different flavors. You're like, where the fuck do I even start? It's like if you just start with movement,
Yep.
You know, little by little, then we'll gradually input here.
Yeah.
I see sometimes trainers will go too hard, too fast at somebody.
Yep.
So it's like if this person hasn't worked out in 10 years,
Yep.
don't kill them on the first workout.
They're never coming back.
They'll never come back. They're going to be sore for a week.
Yep.
They always do that to so many trainers. Like they have
my
something
God.
to prove. I'm gonna give you the hardest work. That person's not coming back. They don't want. Like they're not.
Dude, my DMs,
bodybuilding.
the amount of trainers that hit me up, hey, let's go do a workout. I said, bro, I know your script.
Yeah.
You're going to get me there. You're going to fucking kill me.
You've never
I'm
had a
going to be
workout like
miserable
that
for 3
before,
days. Yeah, because you want us to film it. And then I'm going to be miserable for like a week.
Never come back.
Like I can't do it.
You know what's funny about that though? I think that it's good and bad, because if you're a young trainer and you're trying to do the best possible job you can and give someone the best workout, if you have the ability to take feedback from a client and says like, bro, like you just killed me here. Like
Right.
we got to take a step back. If you can make those adjustments, and that's kind of like what I was talking about, like having that, you know, relationship with your clients, and you got to ask questions. You got to talk to them. When we do consults before before we take on any new clients, and we want to know injury history. We also want to know exercise history. You know, most times we're not the first trainer that they worked with.
Oh, yeah.
So if they had a negative experience prior, I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them talk. Your data shows.
Yeah,
Yep.
what you're saying there though is like it might sound simple, but that's like way overlooked, and you can carry that over to any business. Like you were talking before about customers, I think we should like hit on this too. Like customers, like they will tell you what to do. Like whatever business you're in, if they're like, "Hey, I want more of this. Hey, I like that," people don't listen. Like the businesses don't listen to that. They're going to tell you what to do. You don't have to have it all figured out. Your customers will tell you. Just like your customers told you they
Nailed
like you,
it.
so let's open up more facilities into that.
Yep.
It's overcomplicated sometimes.
No, it's true. Because sometimes the trainer's ego
Yeah.
will say, no, you need to do what I'm thinking. And this lady could just be like, listen, I just want to grow my glutes.
Yeah.
Like I want to grow my glutes. I want to, want a
Yeah.
fat ass, and that it is what it is.
The other thing is too is that people that get into the industry. I mean, I made the joke earlier about like failed athletes, but it's also people that just like to work out,
Right.
and which is cool. But you can't push your personal methods on somebody that might not be the specific goal that they have.
Yeah. It's a tough balance. I see that with my trainer. It's like I'll go through phases where I'm like, all right, let's go, like let's speed it up. And there's other times where he's trying to slow it down, or it's like we're constantly like balancing off each other. Because
Yeah.
if you go too hard, maybe he'll scare me off. If he's not pushing me hard enough, I'm not getting results.
Yeah.
So I always look at him, and he really does a great job at that, and I think that's why my trainer does so well. But I could totally see that being a challenge for some people.
But that's why you go back.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's a testament to him.
I've been going for years. Exactly.
Yeah.
And he keeps building and building and building. And I think that right there is exactly why.
And building an honest, good relationship with your trainer is important. I see a lot of people's trainers are like people's therapists. Like they'll work out. You talk about so much shit.
Yeah.
You build such a good, close bond with that person. And the people that don't do that, and the people that look at it like, oh, your hour's up, like catch you later. Those people aren't getting the referrals.
It's funny you said that. When you've worked with someone for 8 years, 10 years,
Oh, you know everything.
you know everything. But part of the reason that they're coming to you is they actually like you.
Yeah.
Right. That's the point.
Do you know what I mean? Like, usually if you have someone for 8 to 10 years, their form's good, they know what they're doing. At that point, they like you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
They
you're not
don't
working.
even need you anymore. They're just like, I kind of just like working
You're not
going to
work out with a guy you don't like.
No.
If I'm going to spend an hour of my day or 5 hours out of my week
Yeah.
with somebody, like I have to be able to like you.
Yeah.
That's probably step number one if you think about it.
What are you doing to keep great trainers? Like, do you have like a certain way you pay them to incentivize the great ones, or is it all culture?
Well, they all do well. It's based upon with them, like it's incentivized based on how many hours they work. I'll increase their percentages as far as that goes,
Okay.
but they need to make money. So like, and I get it, and I want them to make money. It's training is a tough industry because it's shitty hours half the time. You're dealing with people. You got to put a smile on your face even if you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's draining. So there's a lot of burnout in it.
Yeah.
Staff that I have now is really great. I have no complaints. I constantly ask what they need because I don't want to lose them, and I'm super picky about who I bring in.
Yeah. Is everybody doing group classes? Like, are you teaching people how to execute group classes? Because it seems like that's like your
Bread and butter.
like your niche.
So we got a lot going on there. So we have 9. I think we have like 9 employees now. I have certain instructors that just do group classes. I actually write all the classes.
I see.
So I write all the classes. They're all certified. They're all have had experience. I have 3 full-time trainers, and then the rest are just part-time. But we have 2 separate sides. I have one side for just personal training. The rest is for group classes. So it's actually 2 separate entities. Because I have people that just personal train, they won't take classes. I have people that take classes that won't personal train.
Right, 2 separate things completely.
So you've been at this one location that you've been kind of knocking down the doors for about 4 or 5 years.
7.
7 years.
Yep.
Is there a plan? Open up another location?
If I open up another location, it would be out of the state.
Massachusetts. Because I feel like in Rhode Island, you would probably cannibalize itself, right? Because it's such a smaller market.
People have talk about, like, in Rhode Island, it's funny, like, why don't you open one up, a couple locations, they're about a half hour away. Just drive.
It's going to cannibalize yourself.
Yeah. So, but I would consider opening out of state. I know what it takes, and I'm like a perfectionist where I know what it takes. Boston, I would do, though.
Because I feel like your name carries here.
Yeah, I would do Boston.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
If maybe if you need an investor, we could jump into that one. That would be fun. Okay, so what about what you see now?
We can always talk.
Yeah, we'll chat.
Yeah.
So now you're opening a recovery center.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Pilates, was getting really everywhere, nationwide, I'm sure, but in Rhode Island, a lot of different places were popping up. I had noticed that we were losing some clientele for no reason. People just wanted to try something different. As you touched on earlier, we do have a large female clientele, but it was about finding the right person. So we did find the right person, and it was something where there was a unit that was open. It worked out relationship-wise with her, so it was something that she wanted to come on full-time with us. So we put 4 reformers in there. We're running right now like 25 reformer classes a week.
And they're all sold out?
All of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pilates is the shit. I want to do Pilates. Is it weird for guys to do Pilates?
No, I tried it, and it was challenging. I have like 0 mobility, but it's really, really good for your core. She did some good unilateral stuff.
I'm trying to get Costa, me, my brother, and my other brother to do a Pilates class and film it and just film it.
Come down. We got 4.
Dude, I think that would be the funniest thing anyone's ever seen.
It'll be fantastic.
Because everyone would be dying.
Well, you're locked in now. You should.
That's what I'm saying.
I've never done Pilates.
I
But
never
dude,
did either.
anytime I see the videos like NFL guys doing
Yeah.
Pilates, I'd laugh my ass off.
We just had the kid, David Duke. He used to play for Providence College. He's with the San Antonio Spurs now, and he was back home, and he came in, and his girl. I didn't think this guy was going to fit on the reformer.
It was like 6'7".
He's like 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
Nicest kid. But anyways, yeah, he was on it. He loved it.
I feel like it's the best thing, even for like longevity,
Yeah.
stretching, mobility, cardiovascular. Like it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start the movement.
Just do it.
Men's and Pilates.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right, but we'll figure out something that sounds
It'll
good.
get a lot of views.
That's what I'm saying.
Yoga too. My girlfriend got me into yoga, hot
Yeah.
yoga,
Yeah.
hot high intensity yoga. You've done it before,
Dude,
That thing,
sweat your nuts
I've never sweat.
off.
It must, oh my god.
Have you done it yet?
No, I keep hearing about it though.
It's almost like too much, dude. I just keep
Yeah.
slipping around in the puddle.
Yeah, you
of
gotta
my
put
own
like
sweat.
towel down, and if you don't put a towel down, you're slipping everywhere.
It's
you're
insane.
dying. And the people in the class, you look around, they're not in great shape. Like I'm there, I'm like, I'm gonna get better.
No,
shape,
you'll have
and
an
they're
old
way better.
lady flying past you.
I'm just like-
huffing and puffing in the back.
It's all mobility, right? Like
It's mobility
But
and
it's
strength
cardio.
too. Like there's a lot of core and like you're like moving around and like
Holding
stretching
poses.
this, but you don't. It's fast. It's high intensity. It's literally like a hot yoga workout. You're flying through poses.
As longevity gets more into the conversation, more of that type of shit is going to be more popular
Yeah.
because that is movement and again cardiovascular and all that stuff. But anyway, back to the conversation.
Yeah, so we put the reformers in there. Then we added a couple saunas. hydro massage machine. We put a cryo lounge in. So I love like the cold plunges. I think it's great. The reason why, for no other reason, I went with the cryo lounge was because it's just easier.
Cleaner.
Right.
It's just more convenient.
Yeah.
Like you can go on it like that.
Yeah.
So like for women that, because I did ask a lot of my clients, do you like cold plunges? Would you do it? Some of the women didn't want to go into the water that other people have been in.
It's true.
You
It's
know,
kind of fucking gross.
yeah.
Go to Lifetime Fitness. It's disgusting.
Or like some people just didn't feel like bringing a bathing suit, shorts with them, getting wet,
It's a
jumping
pain
in
in the
and out.
ass. Like,
With this,
Yeah.
you literally can lay on the bed, 15 minutes, boom, it does hot and cold therapy. So it was pretty cool. So we did that. So we're getting that going. But it's actually been, the whole room itself has been a great addition. And our instructor, Nat, has been phenomenal getting that room going with us. So I have to give her credit as far as that goes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good job, Nat.
Is that a membership based thing? Like, is that a monthly payment for like
For that-
if I wanted to join, or it's each thing is kind of its own thing, like separate?
For the new room.
Yeah, or for the whole thing combined,
So personal training has its own packages.
Yeah.
The group classes have their own packages as well. We do 1 month, 3 month, 6 month contracts. And they're unlimited, meaning you could take as many classes as you want. The Pilates reformers, we do those in class packs, 1, 5, or 10. And what we're doing is including actually with those, if you buy a 5-pack, you get 2 recovery services complimentary. If you buy a 10-pack, you get 4.
I see.
So it helps get people on some of the machines as well. And that's worked out pretty well. One thing I didn't realize, some studios because the whole Pilates thing, I'm not gonna lie, it was so new to us. A lot of studios were blowing out these unlimited memberships, and we're like, how you can't even touch those prices. But come to find out, after you talk to a lot of people, you can only take certain classes, you can only book at certain times, and they have 12-person waiting lists.
It's like Spirit Airways.
Yeah, and you can't even get on it.
Yeah.
So then it ended up being, that's why we didn't do any unlimited memberships as far as the reformer stuff went. But we did do unlimited memberships for if you just want to do the recovery stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
When you first opened,
Yeah.
because a lot of gyms and normal businesses, it takes a while to be profitable.
Yeah.
When you first opened, how long did it take to get to profitability in the green?
I would say 4 or 5 months.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's fast.
Yeah.
There's some of these gyms and businesses that it takes years. I mean, the restaurants, Lucha could tell you, it took I don't know how long.
Yeah. Well, we
My
sucked at
overhead
it.
wasn't that crazy. And I think it goes back to the question that you asked earlier about like if I had the location or the equipment.
Yeah.
I didn't have the equipment. I had enough for the clientele that I had, and I was doing a ton of lower, and I still am, but I was doing a ton of lower body training at that time.
Yeah.
So I had enough to service that. But then what happened was that I wasn't being stupid with the money, and I was banking that money. And then when I noticed the need for something else, I just went and bought it. The next thing you know, we just
Reinvesting is huge.
yeah.
I mean, especially in the gym business, actually, because a lot of gyms that don't update their stuff and they go stale, and then they wonder why someone went to another gym that has more equipment.
Our clients tell us all the time. They're like, we appreciate how much you reinvest. I'm talking down to paint.
Right.
We just painted the group class side just to paint it. Jenna said to me, she's like, we need to make this black. And just people that have been there 7 years, just to have a different look.
Yeah.
With restaurants, it's
Yeah,
the same
that's a
shit.
great point. That's something our dad was like a mentor to
Yeah.
us that I remember he's always said, like, you need to have at least a small budget to do some kind of renovation every single year, whether you need it or not. You
Yeah.
just need to do it.
That's
Because
great advice, though.
Yeah, exactly. We never forget. It's something we've always been doing.
Did you have a mentor?
No. And I thought about that because I didn't know if I was going to get asked that question. No, I didn't. And I think learning, those last 7 years, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself, even the way I talk to people.
Huge.
Like I expect, I expect so much out of myself. Sometimes I expect too much out of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a.
You
Man,
know?
That's an Italian
that
thing.
can bother you, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just pisses you off.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem
Yeah.
in life in general.
Yeah. I mean, I look at, and it's no one else's problem, but I mean, I was working 12, 13-hour days for 20 years. It's just like, and then you'll get you'll get kids, these young kids that you give them a great opportunity, right?
You see potential in them too.
100%.
Right.
And I want to invest it in them. But then they'll tell me I can't work at night, or I can't work on a Saturday, or I can't do that. I'm like, what?
You
What
can.
the fuck
You
you
just,
talking about?
you're choosing not.
I'm
You're
still
too lazy.
working on Sunday.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
exactly.
You know?
The young generation's fucked up.
Yeah.
They have no grit.
Yep.
Like because we're considered millennials, right? I'm a
I
millennial.
think we are. Yeah.
I think you are. Yeah. How old are you?
43.
Yeah, so
81.
you're like the top end. I'm
Yeah.
like the bottom end.
Yeah.
My Gen Z.
Millennials, you're a fucking pussy. The last, the last,
Talk about that after.
the last batch, like of I feel like decent human beings, was like mine and maybe like 2 or 3 years younger. As soon as you get lower into the Gen Zs, the laziness
Yeah.
and the entitlement,
Yeah.
the blend of both
Yeah.
is fucking scary.
Yeah.
It's true though, especially like the younger gen. I'm on like the edge, but like the kids that are like born like the early 2000s or mid 2000s,
Right.
it's like then up. It's like
Like they're
It's
majorly smart and they're innovative,
Yeah.
but their grit and like tolerance for pain is so fucking low.
They're good at different stuff. Like,
yeah, but that's
Exactly.
the thing though.
I've noticed those people with like tech, any type of tech, even like, everything always, I think about the restaurant, but like you put them at the hostess, like an 18-year-old or 20-year-old or whatever, and like, boom, the tech side, they figure out like instantly.
I suck at that.
Exactly. And we're over there like trying to figure it out.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But would you rather be talented with that or have grit and pain tolerance?
I don't know.
Depends on what
I
you
would
want in
rather,
life.
yeah, exactly. It depends like when you friggin'
Yeah.
exist in the world, For us, we needed to have balls, I think, especially back like, you're a little bit older than me, but, we had to learn things more through experience than people do now. Like right now, you can just look it up
YouTube,
online, Instagram, you can instantly find
AI.
people who are doing what you're trying to do. And it wasn't like that. Like when we were getting, it's like we had to figure it out. There was no, it's like just the people you talk to and that's pretty much it.
As great as it is now, like 'cause just to be able to go on your phone and actually learn something, it's a huge resource. It really is.
Massive.
But we learn from books or just different ways, than
Books.
yeah,
You know?
just anything. Like it just different ways. At least I mean, and you talk about life experience. For me, it was working so many different jobs, and to get where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
So did you look up to anybody like or like model your gym off of something that inspired you? Was there anything like that going on?
This might sound crazy, but I modeled my gym off myself as far as hard work. That's all
Like
I
off
knew.
your own personality.
And how I wanted people to feel that off of me, and I think that they did, especially my core group of people that I started with, and I wanted them to feel that.
That's
Yeah,
huge.
that's
If that makes sense.
It makes 100% sense, and it's something that I've I actually thought about recently because it's like we were just talking about we have all these resources, books, YouTube videos, all this stuff. It's like you almost forget about you. Like, what do you like? What's your taste? Especially if you're like a creative person or something like that. It's like, well, what do you like? What music do you like? What feels good? Everybody else is trying to like look at what this guy's saying on YouTube or what he's saying there, but then you lose sight of like, wait, the whole point is this is like everybody's uniquely different. So why you keep asking other people like what your style is? You got to figure it out, just like your gym.
And you also have to know what you're good at too, like,
Yeah. Right.
and what you're not good at. Like, I don't have a problem saying what I'm not good at, and I'll find someone that's better than me at it, and we'll figure it out. A lot of times, I think that's the advantage I have with Jenna being there, because I can say, hey, like, I should not be handling this situation. Either you can, or like, what do you advise in that regard? I think too, I don't know you guys that well. I follow you guys on social media, but like seeing you guys as a family doing what you're doing, like that's huge. Like when you say like your dad, like I can only imagine if I'm sure he was your mentor in a way, and or your mentor, and taught you guys a lot. But having that's a trust. You trust him. He's your dad, right? Now you're in business with your brothers and your family. You're deadly.
Lethal.
You are, because it's trust, and most people don't have that. I think that's why I kind of was successful early when I opened the gym, because it was me, and any advice that I had, I went to Jen, or and it was tight knit. So
How did you end up getting these celebrities? Because obviously, to get someone like Olivia Coppola to
Yeah.
contact you and train with you is not an easy task.
Yeah.
They're very private. They want certain, they want things done a certain way, and to do good by them is tough. So talk to me a little bit about how that happened.
So Olivia was referred to me by a friend.
It's Olivia Coppola for, I don't know if I
Yep.
said that.
Yeah, Olivia Coppola. She was referred to me by a friend that had come to the gym. She was coming into town. She needed to work out. It's a private studio. And so when she said, "Do you want to train her?" I was like, "Yeah, get her in."
Simple as that.
And I was just super accommodating to her schedule. But I treated her like I never asked her for anything. And she was like, Olivia, she gets paid to post whatever, on Instagram. I mean, she was always would share me, always would, was appreciative, always polite. And then I think it just worked, after that.
The key with those type of people is to treat them like normal people.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people who do not know how to act around them.
Yeah.
And I used to be in that world. And I think the reason why those people gravitated towards me was I treat a janitor the same as a celebrity, the same as a CEO.
Yeah.
Like, you're a human being. I'm going to bust your balls. We're going to laugh. We're going to joke.
Yeah.
And if you can do that to a celebrity or someone of that stature, they are like, okay, you get it. Like, we can, put my guard down. We can have conversations. That's huge.
The only difference with the celebrities with just the everyday client is their schedules are just a little more hectic. So it's
Right.
about you just trying to accommodate them pretty much. That's the hardest part. In training, you nailed it. They are regular people. You got to treat them. I would talk to her like I talk to you guys. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I think that's how you just have to approach every client.
It's all the same shit.
It's all the same.
Right.
Just be valuable to them,
Yeah.
right? Like, just provide a great service for them. That's what she's looking for, and that's it. Don't ask for anything in return.
You want her to work hard. You want
Right.
anyone else to work hard.
I got another question. What
Sure.
is two of the biggest obstacles that you ran into opening your business that you overcame?
COVID, number one.
Yeah, COVID was a shit show.
But
really.
that was a little wild. I'd have to say the biggest obstacle I've had is just managing staff.
Managing people is the hardest thing that no one fucking talks about,
Yeah.
right? I mean, what the hell?
I
Managing
mean,
personalities is insane.
yeah, that's been the hardest, I have to say, for me and my personality. I'm pretty easy to get along with, but I expect things to be run a certain way, not for me personally, but more for the how the gym flows and works. But that's been my hardest part.
Yeah.
Is managing staff.
And then what about managing your work-life balance? Because you're saying you work in 12-hour days. You went that 12-year stint.
I don't have a balance.
That's it.
It sucks.
One way.
It sucks.
It's all right. That's how we were built, though.
Well,
I
that's
feel
why
like.
we got to open up more locations. Then I can.
Then you can
figure it
chill,
out.
right? Because you're in it right now. You're like the operator, and you're 100% in it.
But it's not like I'm not. It's not like I'm a control freak where I'm not looking for help.
Right.
I mean, it's finding the people.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tough thing. So if you were to give advice to anyone starting a business or any trainer, because it's a competitive world, right? There's a bunch of trainers, almost like realtors, right? For sure. There's a bunch of them. What do you think was the biggest thing that separated you, and what would you give advice to someone else?
Well, there's a difference between being a personal trainer and a business owner.
Big time.
So you got to identify that first off. I had read a stat, I don't know, a few years ago. I don't know how true this is, but it was like 8 out of 10 gyms closed within the first 2 years.
Same with restaurants.
Yeah. So it's like that wouldn't be the first business I would think about. Hey, I'm just gonna open up a gym. It looks cool. As a trainer, you got to start from the ground up.
Yeah.
When you talk about niches and stuff like that, I don't really believe that in training that there should be one at least off the bat. And what I mean by that is that you should be able to train a 7-year-old or a 75-year-old.
Yeah.
Especially early on, you don't know what's going to get thrown at you. Also, you're going to get situations that you've never come across, and you got to almost act like you know what you're doing, even if you don't.
Like an ACL, I have an ACL and injury. You're like, okay, I got to figure out how to.
And you got to figure it out. And number one, you got to figure out how to keep them safe and not hurt them.
Yeah.
But I think if you can as a young trainer, if you can focus on your client's performance, how they move, their form, and then, which is really huge, is client retention. It's just, you don't know, like when you have someone that's you've had for 8 years, well, if you had that person for 8 years, well, you probably got a lot more than just one. And
Right.
you know, you do a really good job with somebody, you make them feel comfortable, they feel stronger. They're going to tell somebody and tell somebody and tell somebody. And I think that, you know, you're also in that process as a young trainer going to find out if this is really what you want to do.
Oh, yeah. What about niching down? I see a lot of trainers trying to niche down. I'm going to be the ass doctor. I'm going to focus on glutes. I'm going to be a hybrid athlete trainer. I'm going to be, you know, a female only, or men in the ages of 30 and 50. I see a lot of niching down. Do you think that would be something you would tell like a young trainer to do?
Well, I look at it this way. There's only, like you talk about, like say glutes, there's only one Brett Contreras. Like he's
Right.
he's the glute guy.
That's the guy from Miami.
Yeah.
Beast. I've
Yeah.
been trying to get a hold of him for years.
Yeah.
For
like,
Nutre.
He's the glute guy. There are no other glute guys.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah, I'm not saying that being a jerk, but you know, like I've done a ton of lower body training where, you know, at that time, you know, it was a lot of glute training. I was doing a lot of competitors. Breck, he's the glute guy. Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Right.
I think that you ultimately develop niches after a period of time. Like I have a friend, he has a gym in Providence. He does like youth athletic development.
Perfect niche. Yeah.
He fucking crushes it.
Big time.
Crushes it.
Like middle school kids or high school kids?
Everything.
Yeah.
Elementary through high school. And a lot of it is with inner city kids.
Yeah.
Which you might not, I taught in the inner city, and you know, money sometimes is a problem,
Big
especially or also getting kids to practices and stuff like that.
Transportation, all that shit.
This guy, he crushes it.
Figured it out.
Yeah, and that's all that's what his focus is. So I think, but that didn't happen overnight. That happened in time.
I think when I see trainers, I mean, we work with a bunch. We probably have 240 trainers that we work with.
Yeah.
Do you think that the niches have been working for them?
100%. The big thing with niches is when you transition to like online training, a lot of these.
Because now we're talking marketing, right? There's like on the marketing side, how to brand yourself as a trainer or even a singular business person, like a realtor, right? You have to kind of position yourself in the market a little bit.
100%, especially because most of these trainers, like a lot of them are in person, but a lot of them want to transition to online.
Right.
The thing is, when you go online and you have to compete on ads and Facebook and things like that to scale, if you're just like, hey, I train everybody, then it's like you're really speaking to no one. So these guys really have to niche down and speak to women, men, this age, this goal, stretching, mobility, and find a pocket and then kind of build off of that pocket.
I agree from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah.
Right.
I do agree with that. I just don't think that, especially like early on in your career,
Right.
that you should limit yourself, because at
100%.
that point, what it's an opinion. Like, what really separates you?
You don't have a credibility yet.
Yeah.
You don't have the resume
even
to
know what
show
you
it.
like.
And that's why when I was giving you the example of my buddy who does with a lot of the youth stuff, like that took time.
Yeah.
Now he'd be foolish to do anything else
Right.
because he's cornered that market.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like what people will ask me, who would you go to this? Boom, go to him. You know,
He's the guy
Exactly.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
That's a key point. To be top of mind, like when I think, that's a good point. When I think Peter, I think Rhode Island Fitness. That's how you branded yourself.
Yeah.
If someone says like, hey, I'm going to Rhode Island, I need a gym, I'd be like, the first thing I'm thinking about is Peter.
yeah.
That's huge to be top of mind sales or top of mind branding.
I think group classes. That's what comes to mind for me. Just
yeah.
We do a
Yeah.
lot of them. Yeah.
right? Like, because that is pretty unique. Like all the personal trainers that we know around us, there's really not many that
Kill the
are starting with group and growing that way.
It's hard to do though.
Yeah, like that's why I'm more interested in that than anything, because I talk to my trainer about this every single day.
It's really hard to do. First off, there's a lot of trainers, and to no fault to them, they don't believe in group classes.
They believe in individual.
If they don't have interest in doing it themselves, which is cool, if that's not their training style, if that's not how they feel like moving,
Mm-hmm.
I get it, but that's not for but that's not everybody else.
Yeah.
You also have to think of it from a standpoint of affordability, because not everyone can afford personal training.
One-on-one.
Yeah, $100 an hour,
Yeah,
80, yeah.
right. So it's an opportunity for them to still work out, have fun, be a part of a community, have a really good workout, and make it affordable.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, some of these girls want to get together, even guys.
Yeah.
Like me and you get together, do a workout. Like we're hosting a big Nutre Sweat Social, like this big event. And we're just trying to get people together to have almost like have fun, but also get a good workout in. Like that's the key is how can you make it fun, like you said,
Yeah.
but also get a good sweat in.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect balance.
How much of your business is online now? You talked about that a little bit during the COVID process. It's you're
Not much. We kind of actually we were just talking about that. Now that everything is really much in person, my focus kind of shifted to with the wellness room that we put up, we put in. It's
Yeah.
just way more profitable at this point.
so that's what you see your growth
Yeah.
being in the future
Yeah.
is in the
The
well.
brick and mortars.
I saw like a couple years like after COVID, like there were some people that still, for whatever reason weren't leaving the house. So it was still like worth it. But
Yeah.
like like right now, everyone's out and about.
Yeah.
Get your ass to the gym.
Yeah.
I would never do online training. For me personally, hire an online trainer. I don't
would-
think so.
I never even considered it for a second.
I want to go. Like,
Yeah.
I need somebody-
So can I say something about that? Which is funny too, is that there are some really good online trainers. So I'm not going to say that there's not, but there's also a lot of online trainers that might have failed as personal trainers.
They PDFs. They just send
Right.
you a fucking PDF.
courses.
Yeah.
Like a blank PDF that they send to 16,000 people.
Yeah.
Now
And
the
it has
AI
zero
too.
customized.
Right.
Yeah. How do you think AI is going to affect the fitness industry? Do you have any concerns there or excitement?
I don't have any concerns right now.
It's happening so fucking fast.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. I like I said, I think it's, for me, knowing that what the value that we do add as our studio in person, the community that we've created, I don't know if AI can duplicate that, but
That's
No,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the defense to AI is
Yeah.
community, right? Like
100%.
you can't replicate that with a fucking robot or
No. It can help though,
any
AI.
technology.
oh, of course.
It can help you in like whether it's like programming or somebody sends some data. Like you do like the data in
Yeah.
the beginning, you create a
Yeah.
profile and can help them help you program some stuff.
Yeah, but
Well, more
The
customized.
onboarding stuff like that,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
speed things up.
Not the connection though.
I'm a big believer in these wellness events that, again, we're throwing our first one. But I think, like you said, community, you cannot replicate it, and it's very hard to build. The hardest thing is building community, especially around a brand.
Yeah.
Well, I like what you guys have done. Like I said, I follow you with, as far as you incorporate all these like trainers, the ambassadors, I don't know what
Yeah.
you want to call them. I just think it's great because you're always you're always in our faces.
Gorilla.
And then the names, your name's always there, and you have a great reputation. I mean, a lot of our clients, they eat all your meals, but I just think it's fantastic that you're helping other people, you're helping trainers, you're making them some money, but you're also in everyone's face all the time.
We're trying to, thank you. We're trying to figure out, it's so fucking, anytime we go to the gym,
Tino
we go-
loves that.
me and him go to the same gym, and people are like,
what you
dude,
want.
I clicked on your link once, and your
I'm
ads
sorry.
are like,
yeah.
I'm like,
I'm sorry I clicked
I'm like,
on your
yeah, they're like,
website.
I'm sorry I clicked it. Jesus Christ. But anyway, I think these events are going to be huge because we're looking backwards, like you said. We're looking at our consumers. What do our consumers want? What are they doing? 90% of our consumers are working out. So let's get them together in a room. 90% of our consumers probably want to meet us. They want to meet other people that are like-minded. Why not host a free event for them and get people together? Or why not and any company can do this, not just us. Any business can throw something small to get 5 people in a room, 10 people in a room,
Yeah.
to just kind of enjoy themselves and talk about whatever is common to them.
Those
And I
people are
think
going to win.
Those people are going to win. I think what you have is unique. Like, so no one can pull them from you because your experience are so ingrained in what they're doing.
They're always, we say it all the time, people are going to try something else. They are. It's
All the
human.
time.
It's human nature. You can't even take it personally.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
They'll try something else, but it's rewarding when you get them back. Like we just had a girl come back after like 2 years, and she's working with one of our newer trainers that we have now, and she's an excellent trainer. And the first thing she said she pulled me aside. She said, she left. I don't know, it was something with child care issues or this, that, and the other thing. Anyways, she was just like, I just want to say that you guys have not only the best trainers, but you have the best community. And I really missed it. And I'm glad I'm back.
Huge.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's
If
the
you
best
could double
compliment
down
ever.
on that,
Yeah.
if
It's
you
awesome.
could, if you
Sell
can
that.
scale that out of state,
Yeah.
that's when you got something special. Like
I
super
think you
special.
can. I think
Yeah.
you can.
That
Yeah.
would be huge.
Yeah.
That'll be a big
You have
test.
to have the right person there in place
Yeah.
that buys into, that buys into, what you're trying to put out there,
Yeah.
100%. All right, so we're wrapping up on the hour mark. Usually we end these episodes with a general question, which is, what advice would you give yourself? Two questions. What advice would you give yourself when you first started, number one? And number two, what advice would you give to anyone starting a business, something that you may have not said before, or something that maybe be a little bit uncommon?
Say the second one again for me.
What advice
Sorry.
would you give to somebody who's first starting their business, whether you're a trainer, business person, anything, that may be something you've never said before, you never publicly said out loud or on one of your social media platforms?
I think that the biggest thing is you got to believe in yourself.
It's a big one.
You can't quit on yourself. Life is filled with adversity. It's what makes you. What makes you successful, whether it be, in a relationship or whether in business. And your failures, because I've had a fucking lot of failures, and I'll be the first one to tell you that. And I think that's why, the only reason why I've become successful within the industry is because I just never quit. I always knew that you can weather it. You can weather it. That day, something might be really bad that day, but it's not going to be that bad the next day.
Yeah.
If that
Do
makes
you think
sense.
your upbringing kind of made you prepared for that?
Yeah, because I had to fend for myself.
Right.
I do. I didn't have an excuse mindset. I also, if I didn't do it, it wasn't gonna get done. I think that some ways that made me a little bitter in certain times. I had to kind of like soften. But I'll tell you what, the reason someone asked me, they're like, how have you worked at this pace for so many years? And I am not kidding you. When all that stuff was going on with my family, I just didn't want to be home.
Right.
Like.
It's sad when I hear that shit.
Yeah. Well, think like at times, this might sound crazy, but like I'll look at, you could look like what you guys do here as a family. What your dad's created with you guys. I would give up everything if I could have my brother back.
Ugh.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Of course.
And like I think that that and I mean that wholeheartedly. And if that was someone saying that, and you guys are super successful, but if that was somebody saying that to me, that would make me go out and work even harder the next day.
Right.
Because you guys, as a family, can just absolutely do whatever you want.
Do you think that was a little bit of a driver for you?
Yeah. And I got tired of being told no to certain things. Like it just, if I wanted something in life, I always had to sacrifice. It was just everything came down to work. So now it's at least more rewarding that my hard work wasn't wasted.
Right.
My time wasn't wasted, I guess I should say.
I mean, I think on my side, on our perspective, I think you built an incredible brand. I think you're an amazing human being. We have a lot of mutual friends that no one has ever said one negative, bad thing about you ever in the 7 years or 8 years you've been in business. And that's not easy to do in an industry that can be polarizing, could bring a lot of, competitive nature. And I think your reputation is amazing. And thank you so
Appreciate
much
that.
for coming on the show, man.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.